Hello and welcome to The Entrepreneurial Musician, a newsletter, coaching service, podcast, and blog preparing today's musicians for tomorrow's realities. This is TEM280 titled Embracing Change. Thank you to Parker Mouthpieces for providing the hosting for TEM. Parker Mouthpieces offers fine customizable component mouthpieces for horn, trombone, euphonium, and tuba, including the Andrew Hitz Artist Model Tuba Mouthpiece. You can find out more at parkermouthpieces.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And check out the Portfolio Career Playbook, the newsletter from TEM, which includes the Quartet of Ideas every Thursday, featuring the tools, actionable advice, and inspiration needed to thrive in today's music business. It's high protein, I promise. Subscribe today, and you'll also be enrolled in an email course from TEM Coaching, completely free. You can go to signup.tem.fm to learn more about that course and to sign up for the newsletter today. Okay, TEM 280, Embracing Change. This episode is late. I've been setting a goal of 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays for the release of each TEM episode. I did a great job this summer of meeting that self-imposed deadline, but things have gotten a little bit crazy of late. That is why I'm writing out the talking points for this episode at 10 p.m., a full 8 hours after it was supposed to be released. And I am now recording it for the second time at 11:15 a.m. the following day. And I'm recording it for a second time because I just recorded the whole thing and figured out that my mic boom was like 3 feet away from my mouth. So that's kind of where things are at, as you're about to hear. I'm going through some pretty major life changes right now, and I'm growing like hell as the result of it. A year ago, both of my partners at Pedal Note Media decided to step aside from the business. I wish I could tell you there was some juicy VH1 behind the music-esque drama between me and them, but both of them left for new challenges and to seek out tension, which I'm going to get into in a minute. By the way, if you're too young to know that reference, you should totally Google it. I'm guessing they got to be up on YouTube. But it used to be hour-long programs on bands where they would have spectacular success and then something would blow up, something would go dark. That's the whole reason why they were on the show. So no drama. They just decided to move on. At that time, a year ago, Lance LeDuc, who I founded Pedal Note Media with and who has been my co-host for the Brass Junkies since the very beginning, told me he would be stepping down from that role as well. He gave me a nice long runway to come up with a solution moving forward, which was very kind of him. His last episode dropped last week, so I am now moving forward with the next phase, which is exciting and scary. I have a great plan, and I've already conscripted some awesome people that I can't wait to unveil very soon to help me moving forward. Also at that time, my other partner, Will Houchin, announced that he would be stepping away from the production of the Brass Junkies. He has done both audio and video for TBJ for years, as well as all of the graphics for Pedal Note Media. That last part is really huge. The graphics for both podcasts, as well as for all of the events, the website, the courses, everything. He has been instrumental in the success. So I am mapping out the future of the Brass Junkies, including finding new co-hosts, learning how to edit video using the brand new storyboard mode from the Descript app, which is really powerful, but that by definition means that there's a bit of a learning curve there, and taking over graphics by signing up for Adobe Express all at once. All of this while teaching 16 tuba students 3 hours away at Westchester University, which is an appointment just for this semester, dealing with a health scare last month with my father, and the usual growing pains of having a kid in elementary school and an aging dog. Oh, and my gigs have kicked back up with a fury. Let me be clear, having all of these opportunities is a blessing, truly, but I've got to admit that I have been getting overwhelmed at times. That is, until I remind myself that learning video editing is on my list of 5 major moves that will help move me, TEM, and Hitz Academy forward. And that getting really good at the basics of graphic design is going to make my course building much easier. And that getting to take something like the Brass Junkies with a very established and loyal audience in any creative direction I want to go in, that's exciting as hell and a challenge a younger me could only dream of. But I will be honest and say that there have been moments over the last months where, let's just say, I have needed to be reminded that all of these challenges are necessary for my growth. I just have to remember that it's all about mindset and that I can be proactive about cultivating a growth mindset. I can regularly look at my list of 5 major moves to remind myself which skills I need to be learning to move everything forward. And those things are by definition difficult, or else they wouldn't make the list in the first place. I just have to keep my eyes on the prize, because continuing to do the exact same thing over and over again, like hosting the Brass Junkies with someone who I can finish their sentences and they can finish my sentences, means there's no tension, which is not knowing whether something is going to work out or not. And all growth comes from tension. Change is inevitable, so the best thing I can do is simply embrace it, even when it feels like it is coming all at once. Okay, this week's quote is another gem from Simon Sinek. Quote, "The goal is not to be perfect by the end. The goal is to be better today." I have a series through Hits Academy called Inside the Practice Room, where I take incredible professional musicians and I have them break down their process inside the practice room. And my guest for one of them was Jeff Nelson of Canadian Brass. He said something that really made a lasting impression on me. He said that he never worries about the results when he's practicing. He simply has faith in his system, that if he executes that system consistently over time, that the results will be there. I found that incredibly profound. This applies directly to some of the things I am dealing with right now on the business side of my career. There was a day earlier this week that I spent all day trying to edit some video, and at the end of the day, I had nothing to show for it. All day. But the framing that I had nothing to show for it is actually BS. I learned an awful lot about what not to do. I also had some successes that day. I just couldn't seem to string them together, so it didn't feel like I had had any. But guess what happened the next day? It went pretty damn smoothly. I had momentum almost right away. And one of the reasons for that is that I wasn't trying to eventually be perfect at editing videos. I was just trying to get better, and I did. The funny thing is that I don't need Simon Sinek's quote to remind me that my end goal is not to become as good at video editing as I am at the tuba. That's really obvious to me. The hard part, though, is that sometimes my thoughts can be as if that is my end goal, which in the moment might as well be the same thing. I can tend to be a perfectionist in the moment, even though if any one of you were next to me and could give me 1% perspective in real time, I would knock it off instantly. So I just have to trust the process and know that these skills will come when they come, and that worrying about the schedule is really not very helpful. Thank you to everyone for listening, subscribing, leaving a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get TEM, and simply for your attention, the most valuable commodity any of us have to give. TEM is produced by myself, Andrew Hitz, and is a part of the Pedal Note Media Podcast Network. The theme music for TEM is played by Ben Barron, Rich Kelly, Daniel Lapel, and myself, Andrew Hitz. For show notes, the TEM blog, and to learn more about TEM coaching, please visit our website, tem.fm. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And again, sign up for the newsletter at signup.tem.fm. And that's going to do it for the latest episode of The Entrepreneurial Musician.